Hello, beautiful souls. Peace to the gods and the goddesses. I have my king on with me tonight. And I was going through some comments on here on a video that I made. The video, Black women need black men. We need each other. And we need to heal ASAP. That's what it said. And a sister had commented and said, yes, we need each other. And then a brother had commented underneath her and said, we don't. What exactly do we need each other for? The black community and family is beyond repair. Y'all wanted independence and you got it. Hold your own and good luck with the pandemic. So we were talking and I read that to you and we dialogue a lot. So what do you think about that?
Well, but first and foremost, whoever this person is, they're speaking their experience, what they've seen, what they've observed, and what they've been a part of. So you can never discount a person's individual experience and their viewpoint of whatever the topic is on which you're discussing. So I give him that in that aspect, hey man, I don't know what you've been through and what your family life was like, what you were around. So you may have a vision of what black families look like. But you can't paint with an overall broad stroke because there are the state of what he said black families is in a state of disrepair. That is true.
But it's not beyond repair.
Beyond repair says there's no hope. And that's never the truth. That's in no way true. But there is need for repair.
Yes.
That's evident in a lot of the things that befall us, in our existence. If your family ain't right, it's hard for other things. It makes it more difficult for other things to be done and achieved because family is the closest thing to you. So if that's off kilter, it affects other areas of your life.
Right.
Now, not to say that you can't be overcome because there's plenty of people that have. But, black families, most of us need to get to understand that there's never going to be a union of everything and every idea, one unified thought. That's not what we're going to get to. But that doesn't necessarily have to be what we strive for.
Right.
If each individual person, regardless of their individual experience, took the time out to take that and say, you know what, even if I have had a bad experience in my family, that should make you want to do something different.
Yes.
So that now you can affect the family and you can change the dynamic, that the things that you thought weren't good, okay, maybe I didn't grow up in a family, I had no dad, or my dad wasn't around, or I grew up, I didn't have parents, I was in foster
Or I heard my mother talking bad about men and things.
Well, those things affect you. It paint, the picture that you try to explain in your life. The picture that you paint, you're trying to explain that.
It programs you.
And it doesn't have to be everything that you get, or that you become, but you have to individually say, I'm gonna do something different. If I had bad be the way my thing was painted, I don't want that because it hurt me. I didn't enjoy the way it was implemented.
Right.
So I'm gonna do something different. If that's your motivation, if it was bad, do the reverse.
Right. See, what we have nowadays is hurting people.
And we ain't getting nowhere with that. That's
or being guarded, or I thought that was a very just kind of, guarded ass comment. Y'all wanted independence and you got it. Or just, defense, on the defense.
And once again, I say this all the time, just words and text and posts.
Right.
You never get the true feeling of because you don't know what tone they're saying it in.
Yeah.
What the emotion is. So it's hard because just like you read that, I could have read that differently, and I made it feel, I could have emphasized different words and made it sound like a different idea. But like I said, if he come from a terrible situation and he sees black people and families doing nothing, and that might be what he believes. It don't have to be all, because I know some very good families. I don't know any perfect families, but I know some good families, black families. You know, shit. You know, the world is what it is. So there's no way that you cannot, you know, tend to see and experience different, you know, different makeups of families. Number one, accountability. In everything I do, it's about being accountable, one end or the other. And that should be no different for anybody else in any other relationship that you're having. If you're gonna have one at that level, you have to take that responsibility and be in whole and do your part. I do my part and she do her part. We're getting it done. Once again, nobody's expecting perfection. Everybody got to do their part. I don't think people hold themselves accountable enough for what they can control and what they should be doing. Because if you're having a problem and you verbalize that problem with someone and you address the problem as such or whatever it is, you asking that other person to explain to me, why did you not fulfill your portion of this agreement, deal, whatever we had, this relationship? Why didn't you do your part? What did I not do in your eyes that should be done, and what did you not do? But I always look at what you didn't do. That way, if you holding yourself to a certain level of expectation, and this person in that relationship holds themselves to a certain level of expectation, those expectations should be met. You ain't gonna never, like I said, be perfect. Ain't nobody gonna expecting that or shouldn't be. But you holding yourself accountable. If you hold yourself accountable when you get into these relationships with each other, you know, you need to know that if you're going to maintain and stay in these relationships to form these families, you got to be committed to the relationship, man. Black people, you know, because of the beginning and origins, our origins
I was
here
just
in this
about
country,
to ask you that.
You know, we tend to have ideals and behaviors that don't align with us making the best family decisions. You know, and I keep saying family because that's what this post originally was about. But the family is the origin of the individual. This is what you come from. What you come from tends to shape your behavior. What you're around, what you observe, what you're taught. Those things begin to shape you, the individual. Individual that you are, when it goes outside those doors, it affects the world. It affects the circle of people that you come in contact with. That's why I'm always talking about accountability, because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I really don't have time to be worrying about what you're doing. But if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I don't really need to worry about what you're doing. You know, if I get with this woman and we have our children, our responsibility is to raise individual citizens that leave a positive impact on this world. That's our responsibility. That little person gonna eventually grow up and become an adult and play his or herself into society. You know, that's how, if the world is populated like that, if people just hold themselves accountable,
that's it, man.
The people you put out into the world should be productive citizens of the world in which we live. Now, you can take whatever place in that world that you choose to, that you work to get to. You can get where you want to go by putting in the work you're supposed to put in as an individual. If you, as the parents, hold your children accountable throughout their lives as children, if you hold them to a certain level of expectation, therefore they have to continue to push towards those goals that you expect and have put out there to them, they become better people for that. If you can get your child to learn, to achieve, and to put the best thing, put themselves forward to achieve those things, you have a better chance of putting out a productive citizen. Grooming are habits. You're grooming habits that they need to be the best versions of themselves. And if you put that out into the world, we get less negative. And black people, we have to stand on top of that. Look, as much as the outside society, the dominant society here, the white Anglo-Saxons, males and females, as much as they do to harm us, we do as much
to
harm ourselves. Like it, and you know, a lot of people don't want to face the reality that we create a lot of situations that we can control and we could improve. It's always things that can be done from outside, but it's a lot of things that need to be done inside the black community. And black people just got to stand up and do it. Quit worrying about when the group or when the leader gonna show up. Do your part. Wash your dishes. Quit worrying about everybody else's dishes. Wash your dishes. Every child you put out there is a dish. What kind of dish you putting out there? If you're not teaching your kids to strive, to be the best, if you allowing your kids to do any and everything out here in these streets, in these wherever they doing their thing, and, you know, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to hold your kids because they gonna be adults one day. See, one day, a long time ago, I was my mother's responsibility to turn me into something, to show me the way to be something. My father, you know, those that was their job, so that I wouldn't be who I am right here, out here sticking up people, shooting them, and, you know, selling them dope and robbing them and all that kind of shit. You know, that was their job, and all that stuff they was doing was so that I, as the man that I am now, have an understanding that I had to do the same thing for my children, and so on and so forth. Believe me, that fool that robbed your mama or broke in your mother's house or shot your cousin or shot your brother, he came from a mama and a daddy somewhere. What did they do? Now, once again, nothing is absolute. You could be doing the best job, and some individuals are going to make choices that, you know, go counterclockwise to what you may have taught. That's always possible. But it's a lot of these kids out here, and not just kids, but individuals, period, that didn't start out as bad people, but they weren't guided properly, or they weren't held accountable somewhere. Once again, how can you sell dope, you know, at 17, 16, 15 years old, you know, and your mom and them not know nothing about that, unless, you know, if they're not around. If you're not around, that's even worse, because you done neglected your responsibility. But if you are around and your kids, you know, are growing up to be young menaces that are going to go out here into this world and be counterproductive to our communities, that's on you. Now, once again, individuals make their own choices. That is, obviously, God gave us free will, so you can make the choice to be who you want to be. But if you are influencing your children positively, strongly, and consistently enough, your child has a chance to be somebody productive. Not perfect, ain't nobody expecting that, but they can sure be productive, and they can at the very least not be a liability. And the reason I harp on that is because every kid, if they get to live, is going to be an adult that makes decisions and does things in this world. But you got to shape them from early. You got to get them young and grow them up into something. Make them be something by holding them accountable. That's everybody that procreate. And that's why it's important. Don't be out here just fucking on anybody, having kids anywhere.
Okay.
Especially if you don't think, if they're not qualified to be
a parent.
You know, a parent, or yourself, if you're not ready for that. If you're not willing to put in the time and the effort it takes and the energy to raise a child in a way that's going to allow them to be the best version of themselves and all that they can be, but be productive and an asset to the world, not a liability. You can't be raising these sons out here and not holding them to a level of expectation of what you're supposed to be, what a man's supposed to do, how he's supposed to behave and conduct himself, how he's supposed to handle himself. That's your job, to teach your kids that, especially for these daddies. And man, if you're going to have these be out here fucking these women, you need to put a condom on, or if you get these women pregnant, take care of these children.
It's simple.
Boys or girls. I don't give a damn about you and that woman. Y'all grown. Y'all work that out. Y'all might be together. Y'all might not be together. The kids can't be neglected. That's point blank, and that's period.
Point blank, and that's period.
Leaving them out here in these streets, you know what I'm saying, to become whatever, that's no good. And if going to jail is robbing you and taking you from them, quit doing shit that's taking you to jail. Quit doing that. I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Take care of your family. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's what it is. It is what it is. Whatever, nigga. If you still hustling after 5 years, nigga, and you still ain't got enough money to get out and go do you something legit, nigga, you're doing it wrong. You're hustling backwards, doing something wrong. You just out here. The chances, if you ain't made enough money, that mean the chances you taking ain't worth it. Then you ain't selling enough dope. You out here nickel and dime. You might well go and start your small business, dog, and just do it straight up. If it's gonna take you that long to make some money, make some clean, positive money. If you're gonna willing to invest that kind of time, if you're gonna sell dope, sell it, make you a lot of money, get out and go do something legit. If you just out here selling dope full time all the time, thinking you ain't gonna do nothing but go to prison for a long time, and one of these niggas gonna kill you. And if anybody know you selling dope, which they have to know because you got to sell it to somebody, they gonna tell on you. So you might well go and take that money you got stacked up, put up in that shoebox, or that money you got here at your mama's house. Go open your business, man. Go get you a nice car wash. Start your tax consulting business. Go do something. Get your barbershop. Go do something, man, with your money, man. But if you're doing those negative things and you're neglecting your kids, or if you're doing those things, they're gonna take you to prison, and then you're gonna be out of your kids' lives. Then you're leaving their upbringing up to either one individual or other people that you don't necessarily have that kind of sway over. You're leaving these kids out here to blow in the wind. It's terrible, man. It's not what we want or what we need as a community or these families, man. We don't need none of that. We need these kids to have their parents so we can have a chance to make our communities whole. And if we can fix our families, we can fix our neighborhoods. If we can fix our neighborhoods, we can fix our communities. If we fix our communities, we can have an impact in our cities. Those are things we have to do. But all that stuff starts with individual decisions, choices, and ideals. That's what all that's gonna start with.
It starts with
for
you.
Black people, So my mindset once again is always I try to take care and affect the people in my circle. That's my responsibility. I told you I'm not worrying about leading a bunch of you niggas out here. I'm out here doing my thing, trying to affect the people that matter to me. And anybody that sees what I'm doing, if I'm doing anything positive worth emulating, do so, man, because I'm trying to do something good for my people, man. The people that care. I love all black people because I'm black and proud to be black. But I'm not going to spend all my time trying to drag you niggas into no level of understanding.
That's right.